There's not a single working mechanical piece in this car. It's literally a bare shell. No engine, no transmission, and a complete mess of an interior. And somehow this was the smart decision. This is my new 350Z project car. And yeah, I bought it like this. But this isn't just another random marketplace deal. This is part 2 of a build I never finished. About 2.5 years ago, I bought a crashed 350Z. It ran, it kinda drove, and I was convinced I could bring this thing back. At the time, it didn't look so bad, but I didn't really understand what I was looking at. The deeper I got into it, the worse it became. The frame rail was worse than I thought, the structural damage went deeper than I thought, and there was a lot of problems you couldn't just bolt your way out of.
As you can see, I've got most of the front suspension off. Still gotta get this guy out of here. But I'm actually gonna leave the front subframe on and just drop the motor, trans, and subframe out of the car.
So I did what I thought was the right move, and I tore it all apart. The plan was simple. Fix it properly, put it back together, make it better than before. Somewhere along the way, I realized I was in over my head. Not because I didn't care about this, I just didn't know what the next move was. So the camera stopped rolling. The car didn't disappear, it just sat there. And honestly, I thought that was going to be the end. It wasn't. That shell was bad, but just about everything else on it was alright. The original car isn't here anymore, but just about everything worth saving it is. And it's all in here. Before anything goes into this car, I need to know exactly what I have. 2 years ago, I tore everything apart with no real plan. This time, we're starting with a bit of clarity. This is what 2 years sitting looks like. Before we can build anything, we need to reset it. I've got a better idea. If you're ever in a project like this that you know you've got to strip down before you can build back up, there's a reason I decided to pull the carpet out and not just clean it. It's because you never know what's under there. And boy, am I glad I pulled this out. That is standing water and looks pretty gross. This car lived outside with no weather stripping, so while the windows were up, there's still a decent gap here. So it saw a season or two of rain. As much as I want to clean this dash, center console, and all this trim, it makes no sense to clean it right now. It all has to come out. Okay, I think we're getting somewhere. It's easy for a project like this to feel overwhelming real fast, but that only happens when we're looking at the bigger picture. You know how the saying goes, the only way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time. So we're breaking this big project down into systems. Instead of looking at the whole car and how much work we have to do on a whole, we're going to break everything into individual parts so we can tackle one at a time. The systems on your project car may look a little different than the ones on mine, but the way I'm breaking this down is wiring, because this car has no wiring in it at all. So we have to get the factory chassis harness and engine harness in before we can put the engine in and before we can put the interior in. Once the wiring's checked off, we can move to putting the interior together to have this start feeling like a car again, at least on the inside. Once that's done, we can get an engine and transmission in here. And within those, there are other systems like the fuel system. I'm not sure if I have a full exhaust for this thing. There may be maintenance items like gaskets and things, as well as upgrades we want to do along the way. But by taking a big project like this and breaking it into much smaller things, it not only becomes easier to handle mentally, but you're able to build momentum. And momentum is huge on a long-term project like this. So let's keep the momentum rolling and actually get some work done. This is going to be the most tedious and time-consuming job, probably of this whole project. I'm definitely not looking forward to it, and that's exactly why we're going to start with the wiring first. This is actually 2 separate harnesses. I didn't even know that until I just dragged them out here and tried to make sense of it, but this is the one that goes in the engine bay. So we have our main fuse and relay boxes, and then only a little bit of this goes inside the car. This is the full chassis harness, so we have everything here from our fuel pump relays to the little door chime sensors, all the way back to our taillights, and all the way up to our steering column, turn signals. I even left the turn signal stock on here to try and give me some indication of what this could possibly be. The hard part is going to be figuring out how all this goes, where it's supposed to sit, and what makes the most sense, because I took this apart a long time ago, and I'd be lying if I said I remember how it all goes, so wish me luck. Since we are starting from scratch, now's a good time to kind of think of what do I want to keep in this car as far as factory stuff, and what do I just want to delete while I'm in here. The ABS is a good case of that. I'm going to delete this whole ABS unit. Back when my car was still stock motor, not so much street car, but not full-blown race car, I actually deleted the ABS and put in a proportioning valve for better left foot braking. And if I know how to do that, might as well do it now since we're in this deep. So we can toss this in the bin, and hopefully it'll make the wiring job a little bit easier, because it's kind of a mess in this corner. Next, we'll hit it with some extreme bug and tar remover. This is some of my favorite stuff for deep cleaning projects from Dirty's Detail Lab. This is the kind of stuff that literally nobody is going to see once the wiring, the battery, and all the plastic trim and the engine and everything is back in. But it makes me feel better knowing it's a bit cleaner. Look at how much nicer this all looks. So this is where the big fuse boxes go, eventually the battery. The wiring runs behind this false firewall, and then of course the plastic covers all of it. I still haven't finished cleaning firewall, engine bay, and everything, but I mean, it's so much better in here. And since we did clean this area so good, I mentioned the battery tray, and I actually found it in this mess of parts. Let's get this cleaned up and at least in the right spot. Just use the same bug and tar remover that I used in the engine bay. Got this thing looking good. Let's toss it in the car. I did just realize I can't actually bolt this in because the wiring harness runs underneath it, but at least we've got one part where it actually belongs. That's progress, I think. 2 years ago, I took this whole thing apart because that's what I thought progress looked like. And tearing it all down was the easy part. But putting all this back together, it's a whole nother story. This time around, it wasn't just about tearing this car apart. It was about resetting it. Cleaning things, organizing them, and coming up with a plan. That's where the difference is. Oh yeah, and this mess, this is where the rebuild actually starts. If this doesn't work, none of it works. 2 years ago, I pulled all this wiring out, thinking I would remember where it all goes. I don't. And I wasn't smart enough to document any of it, except for one picture I took of one single connector. Bruh. Which means in the next episode, we're going to have to do this the hard way. We'll have to lay this harness out in full and figure out where every single one of these connectors goes, where every single one of these clips goes, and just how all these wires lay inside this car. When I took all this apart, I stopped filming because I felt like I was in over my head. And to be fair, I probably am still in over my head. But this time, I'm not walking away from it. There may not be a single working mechanical piece on this car, but we do have a plan. And this time, we're going to finish it. So let me know what you guys think of the new build. Cross your fingers that I can get all this wiring in the next episode. And as always, I'll see you then.